Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure that you please subscribe and ring the bell so that you can be updated of future uploads, and I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, give it a thumbs up. Hey, and welcome back to my channel, Makeup and Magnolias. This is my second video and I'm super excited. Today we're doing a $30 Walmart drugstore makeup challenge. And let me tell you, that was no easy feat, getting a face full of products for under $30. Even at Walmart, it was very difficult, and I wasn't able to get everything that I would have liked to get, but we're just gonna make do with what we got, what was in budget. I did come in under budget. My total for the full face that you'll see was $26.87, so I didn't really have enough money to get another item, but the good news was I did stay under budget. I did have to throw a lot of things back and keep recalculating. I mean, it was a little bit difficult to stay under 30 bucks, but I'm excited to see how these products perform, and so I guess we'll just roll on into the video. Okay, so I wasn't able to get a primer in the budget. I had one, but I had to let it go for other things that I had to have. But I did moisturize my face really well, and I'm just gonna spritz it really quick. It's not a primer. This is the Clinique Moisture Surge Face Spray for thirsty skin relief, and I really love this product. You just squirt it on your face, and it's like their moisturizer that is a lotion, but it's in a spray form, and it's just gonna give you a little hydration. And I'm just gonna kind of get this other side of my face. I'm just going to kind of pat that in with a Morphe sponge really quick before we get started. Okay, so the first product we have is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And I've heard a lot of really good things about this foundation, so I'm excited to try it. This is the color Buff Bisque, and it says it's for light medium. It says, "Goodbye Photo Flashback. Helps eliminate white particle reflection." I think it's going to be a little dark on me, but there was not a whole lot of foundations left, so I had to kind of pick which one would be the best. And this Wet n Wild foundation was only $4.68. So let's open it up, and it has like a little paddle brush on it. So I'm just going to put a little bit on it first. I'm going to do some little polka dots all over my face because I think it's going to be just a little dark. But we'll see. And I woke up yesterday. I was like, are you kidding me, with a huge zit. Look at that. I had to cover it up. It is a monster. But I mean, that's real life. I wish that I could say I had flawless skin all the time. But I don't. So I'm going to go in with the Y6 brush from Morphe. It's one of my favorite foundation brushes. And unfortunately, it's discontinued, but I think there's a new one that took its place, which is the not the Y6, the M6 or something like that. I'll link it below the new foundation brush. But I'm just going to kind of first pat this in a little bit, just stipple it in, and then I will start doing circular motions to really, okay. And I think I'm gonna have to use a little more product. I just didn't want to go in too heavy because I wasn't sure about the color. Not too bad on my skin. It is blending in really well. I'm just gonna put a little bit more all over and see if we can't make it a little more full coverage by adding just a little bit more product, because right now it's not full coverage, and the coverage is nice. It's definitely better than the Dollar Tree that I used, and I like the more matte finish that it's giving off, but I would say it's more of a medium coverage because you can still see some of my blemishes and imperfections, but it's covering a lot of it. So we're just gonna get this really good and rubbed in. And I didn't mention, but I'll write all the products that I used below in the description box. So the next thing, I think I'm gonna jump into eyebrows. I was not able to get an eyebrow pencil or pomade or product. So I'm gonna hop into this E.L.F contour palette for light to medium. And this whole palette was only $6. And it has 4 shades to mix and match for a custom defined look. So let's open this up and see if there's a shade in here that we can use on the brows. It might not be ideal, but I think we can make it work good enough. And it's a nice packaging. It feels pretty sturdy. Oh, I like that. There's a big nice mirror on the top. I love when things come with mirrors. And then you get a kind of under the eye shade and a contour and a bronzer shade. And then I guess you could put this under your eyes for eye brightening or maybe as a highlight. But let's go ahead and swatch these 4 colors real quick while I have it open. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them on the arm. There's 1. It's really light. It almost blends into my skin. 2 really blends in. 3 and 4. So you can see the shade range. And this is the palette for light to medium. So you can kind of gauge that in my skin tone if you would need to go up. So I'm just going to take the spoolie end of a Lime Life by Kohl eyebrow brush. And I still have not done anything to my eyebrows. I told you guys in the last video, it's been like 6 years since I've done anything to these, and that was not an exaggeration. So I'm going to go into this deepest color and just pat my brush in and start filling in my eyebrows. I have not done a powder eyebrow in a very long time. I usually like to use a pomade or a brow pencil, but that just was not in the budget. And so we're going to use this palette for multiple things. And I'm going to clean those eyebrows up with some concealer, so we'll get all that craziness cleaned up in just a second. And I'll show you how I clean it up. Okay. I feel like you definitely can't get as a defined brow look using the powder as you could like a pomade or a pencil, but that just is what it is. So I'm going to take some concealer that I bought in the Walmart haul. This is E.L.F HD Lifting Concealer in the shade Fair. And it was $3. And what I like to do is just take out the little, has a tiny little, like a doe foot sponge. And I like to put some on the top of my hand. And then I go in with, this is a Lime Life by Kohl number 6 brush. I go in with a brush like this, like a flatter brush. And I just dip it into that concealer. And then I like to run it along the underneath to clean it up. Where I went a little heavy-handed with some of that powder. Just to define it a little more. And I like to kind of block it off right there, and then I run some across the top. I'm going to put a little more concealer on the top of my hand. The applicator, I will say you have to really dig it in there to get a lot of product onto the applicator, but that's okay. And I'm going to clean it up along the top. And just along the bottom again, really good. And I like to make it kind of, like I said, boxed off right here. I think that the product worked well enough to define your brows. It's not going to be as defined, like I said, as the brow pencil or pomade. But, I mean, to have the $6 palette that you can use for a plethora of things that you'll see, that's pretty good. So I'm going to do my other eyebrow off camera, and then I will be back. Alright, so brows are done. They're just really natural, you know, since I used the powder. But I think that they look pretty good. I'm not complaining. Next, we're going to go in with the E.L.F, the HD Lifting Concealer that I used to shape up my brows with. And we're going to put that under the under eye and see how much coverage we can get. Because I definitely have some dark spots going on here. And I need to try to cover up this little bad boy right here. Let's go ahead and do this and see how that works. Just covering up that blemish. I have to really be aware of this mirror because I'm like, oh, can you see what I'm doing? No, they can't. But this $30 makeup challenge was, I mean, I was breaking a sweat in the Walmart because I was really afraid that I was just not going to be able to make it work. But I did. I made it through. So here we are. And I'm just gonna pull it out. And we can always add more. I'm gonna see how this works. I think that the color is pretty good. You always want your under eyes to be a little bit lighter than your foundation shade, or at least I do. I like that, what I like to call it, the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed look. And I'm just gonna go in here and bring a little down the nose. Let me get a little more. Here and right in here. So let's go in, let's go back in with our Y6, and then if that's not working well, then we'll go in with the Beauty Blender. And I'm just gonna stipple it underneath the under eye and try to get it as close up to my lash line as I can, to try to create that wide awake look, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Okay. I would say that this concealer is a light to medium coverage. It's definitely not covering all the dark circles, but it is making a dent in it. So I'm gonna go in with the Beauty Blender sponge and just even that out. I think we're gonna try, let's try to build upon that and see what happens. Right here. If I don't quit slinging that mirror in front of my face. Sorry. I'm getting used to all this. And I'm like one of those type of people, I have to have the mirror like right in front of my face, I feel like. So I'm trying to use this magnetizing mirror that shows like every blemish. I mean, you have not really seen your face until you get it under some magnifying. I said magnetizing mirror, which it is also because it has little magnets on the back and I attach it to my Ricky mirror, but I meant magnifying. So it magnetizes and magnifies. Alright, so there is the concealer. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, for $3, and I really like the E.L.F brand, I think that it is pretty good. It's definitely not as full coverage. I'm hoping that it doesn't crease, but it's all right. I'm gonna go back into our E.L.F contour palette and use, what brush do I want to use? I'm gonna use a Lime Life by Kohl #1. This, and I'm gonna tap into this lightest color right here and tap it underneath my under eyes just to see if it will give me a brightening effect, and it's white. So, well, okay, let's mix a little bit of this darker color right here because now I just have some white. I mean, I want to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I don't want to be stark white underneath my eyeballs. Okay, so I'm just going to press that in and we'll let it sit for a second, and we will go in while that sits and start on contour. For contour, I'm going to be going into the E.L.F palette. I think I'm going to try the darkest shade, and if that's too dark, I'll go over it with the lighter shade, and I'm going to go in with the Morphe R14, and I'm just going to dab into here, and I'm going to start underneath my chin area and just see how dark it is first. So we're just gonna go in and make that jaw line look a little more defined and prominent. And I'm not gonna use a whole lot because it is a little dark and I don't want it to look muddy. And go underneath the chin, okay? Now let's chisel out some cheekbones, shall we? So I feel like it's pretty pigmented, and I'm gonna go in the hollow and blend that out really good. Now we'll go on the other side. Then we'll go right here and right here. So I definitely think that it's a little dark probably for me. I probably should have used the other color. So I'm gonna go over it with a Morphe M530 on the lighter. Ooh, and that lighter color is dusty, and go over that dark and see if we can't calm it down. Simmer down now, y'all. A little bit. Or if it's gonna make it worse. We will see. Okay. And I'm just gonna keep blending it out a little bit since it is a little dark. And I think we can lighten it up with some powder towards the end. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in and dust off that powder. I think I made a boo-boo. That powder had some highlight to it, so the underneath my eyes are like sparkly. I didn't really notice that it had shimmer until I put it under my under eyes, because it doesn't look like shimmer in the palette. It looks pretty matte, but it's okay. Alright, so then I'm gonna go all over my face with my big floofy. This is a Limelight by Kohl, and it is a number 02. And going with this lighter color right here, and just go all over the face. So we might not even need highlight, because apparently my face is highlighted already. So now let's go in with blush. I found this CoverGirl Cheekers number 150 in Pretty Peach. So let's open her up, and she was $3.44. I see something that's bugging me, y'all. Looks like I just have 2 dots of darkness across my forehead. Okay, that's a wee bit better. So let's open this up. And this is just a Pretty Peach matte color. And it comes with the little brush, but I'm gonna use a blush brush. So here's the color. Swatching it, it feels kind of hard. Let's see how it swatches. Well, I think that it's probably not the most pigmented blush ever. There we go. That's better. But let's see how it does on the old cheeks. So I'm gonna go in with the Morphe E.L.F, and it's an angled brush. And I'm gonna tap in, and I'm gonna dust off, because I'm always heavy-handed with blushes at first. And I'm gonna put most of it right here on the apples, and then kind of blend it out in circular motions. So I like the color. It's a Pretty Peach matte. I'm not digging the shimmer I put on my under eyes. So, but on the plus side, I was not able to get a highlight, so we're highlighted. So I think the pigment on that was pretty nice. I love a good peach matte blush. So here it is up close. And I feel like it went on really easy and well, and it was really easy to blend. So I see you, CoverGirl. So let's dive on into eyes, and I got this CoverGirl eyeshadow palette in 203 Negative Space, and it has 4 colors. And it has a really pretty purple. That's what drew me to the palette, like a really like lilac lavender color. And this palette was $4.48, so under $5 for 4 eyeshadow colors. And I hope that they perform well, because I love a good bargain for sure. So let's open this up, and it comes with one of these little applicators. I'm going to put it to the side, and here are the colors. Ooh, they feel really nice. Especially the white shade, it feels really nice. So here you have your white, purple, and kind of a taupey color, and then a darker taupe color. Let's see how these swatch. Do I have any more room? Yes, I do. So we have, let's go on the top. Well, no, we'll go by the blush. The white purple, the lighter taupe, and the darker taupe. So those actually swatched pretty well. The shimmers swatched better than the mattes, but I think by watching, let me keep my hand up over my mouth while I talk. By watching a lot of different videos and things, I feel like the shimmers always swatch better than the mattes. First thing I'm going to do is go in with a Morphe M504 brush, and I'm going to dig back into the E.L.F. I'm using this palette for a lot of things, into the lighter brown, and just put that all over into my crease in the outer corner as a transition color, since there was no really great transition color in the palette. I just like to kind of lay down a neutral base. To dive in with Morphe, this was with the Jaclyn Hill collab, JH32, and I'm gonna go into this lighter shade right here and dip into it, and I'm going to run it along the outside and into the crease. Now I will say, when you put it on the eye, okay, you're gonna have to build it up. It's not just getting you there with that one dip into the palette, but it's buildable, so that's good. And it is coming off a really pretty shimmery taupe color. I'm not sure what it's reading like on the camera, but it is a super pretty taupe shimmer. There is some fallout. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'll go in and clean that up afterwards. There is a little bit of fallout, but not super bad. Nothing to be too concerned with. And I'm gonna go in with a Morphe R39. I guess you guys are seeing the pattern. I love Morphe brushes. They're really reasonably priced and they work really well. Okay, and I'm gonna go with that darker color right here. I don't know if I have to show it, the darker taupey color. And go in and smudge it on the outer corner. And you're definitely gonna have to build this darker color up if you're wanting to create some depth. And just kind of smudge it in a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep it mostly concentrated towards the outside, the outer corner of the eye, and let it kind of fade into the lighter color. I'm gonna dip back in. This is my third dip into the palette, so they're not the most pigmented when you're using them. You can build them up. I think that's about as much as I'm gonna get that darker color built up. And I'm gonna go back in with that fluffier Morphe brush that I used first for the transition color, the 504, and just do circular motions and then windshield wiper right here just to blend the two in a little better. And I'm gonna take a really small, there we go, right here. This is not that one, let's see. I'm gonna take this Morphe by Jaclyn Hill JH40 brush and go into the light shade and just pop it off and hit underneath the brow bone just to brighten that up a little bit. And then I always like to go back in with the fluffier brush and blend. I want everything to be really blended. So you'll blend, blend, and blend again. Okay, I'm going to do kind of like a little cut crease look. So I'm gonna go in with the concealer, and how I do this is I like to take it and put some on the top of my hand. And then I'm gonna go back in with the flat brush like this And I'm gonna carve that eyelid out a little bit. And I'm gonna go, I guess, about halfway and put that concealer on the eyelid everywhere that I'm wanting to press this color in. And this is gonna give you a stickier lid so that the shadow will stick better. And usually it'll make the colors show up more. Now I'm gonna go in with my finger first into this light purple shade and place it down. And then if we need to, I'll get a packing brush and pack it on. So I'm just gonna press it into the lid. So the purple is going on pretty well, and I like the color. It's a really pretty, soft, lavender-like color. I am gonna go in with a packing brush, I think, so I'm just not getting the look I'm wanting by using my finger. And this is a Morphe M421. M421. And I'm just pushing it down into the light purple color, and I'm gonna pack it onto the lid. And then we'll go back in with the fluffy Morphe 504 and just blend those all together. And then once again with the small brush into the white and just highlight that inner corner. I'm gonna take my foundation brush and just kind of wipe that fall out. Okay, so there is the finished eye look. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the look. I don't think that it's as pigmented as a lot of shadows that I have used, but for $4.48, I mean, it's pretty good. I'm gonna actually go back in with the purple with a packing brush, because whenever I use that fluffy brush to blend them, for some reason, that eyeshadow, the taupey color, kind of fell on top of the lid and covered it up. So I'm gonna finish my other eye off camera, and then I will be back. All right, so the eye look is finished overall. I'm kind of digging it. I feel like I'm starting to crease just a little under my under eyes, but I spent the last 5 minutes looking for this concealer. I hid it from myself. I was looking all on my counter and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was like, where in the world did it go? Well, I had hid it in my brush holder. It was down in there. So yeah, we're gonna go in with this Wet n Wild Kohl eyeliner in the color, it's cute, Baby's Got Black. Like that song that I can't sing because I'll go to YouTube jail if you sing songs on here, I think. But that's kind of cute. And it is a Kohl eyeliner, and I really love Kohl eyeliners. There's a Kohl eyeliner by MAC, the color Teddy, that I've used forever. I'm talking about like since junior high ever, and still use it. I like a good Kohl liner. And this was by Wet n Wild. I'm not sure if I said that. And it was only $1.74. I mean, no, not $1.74. That was my dollar sign. This was only 74 cents. Under $1. All right. 10 minutes later, we have our eyeliner out, and I'm gonna see. Oh, and super pigmented. All right, I'm curious to see how this works out. I'm gonna use this. I really love this mirror in this E.L.F palette. So I'm just gonna line the top. And I kind of do mine funny. I start from the middle and go out, and then go on the inside and bring it in. Line. It's really dark, and it is gliding on fairly well. I don't mind this. I feel like I've used this eyeliner in the past and really liked it. I think since it's a Kohl liner, it glides on really smooth, and it's only 74 cents. I'm really impressed. I really like this eyeliner. Same thing with the other eye, and I'll be back. Eyeliner is finished, and every time I say I'll be back, I think of the Terminator every time. So I picked up an E.L.F mascara for length and volume, and it's black, waterproof, and it says you'll achieve full and long looking lashes. The waterproof formula helps prevent clumps and is quick drying. So this was only $3. So let's test out this $3 mascara. I'm excited to see how it works, and it's just in a black tube, and it has their brand on it. I like that sound. I don't know why, it's just like satisfying. The one is different. It's like a little spirally nugget. It looks like a skinny beehive. Skinny beehive. Alright, let's go on the underneath and see. So let's take a look at the difference. Okay, it did lengthen them. I feel like it can tend to get a little clumpy, but that may have been my fault. Right here on the top and see what we got going on. A lot of the only issue I'm having really with it as far as the application and the wand is it gets a little clumpy on the wand, the product does, so you have to keep dipping into it. But other than that, I think it's performing pretty well. It's definitely giving my lashes some volume and making them look longer. So I'm here for that for sure. And I wasn't able to get any falsies. I was a little devastated. My heart broke a little bit because I love a good false Ardell eyelash. I really do. But it just wasn't in the budget. I like it. I wish that it would give it a little more curl. But I mean, for $3, you're coming through. And I think there was one that we had, there was length and volume, and there was another one that was curl and something else. So I'd like to give that one a try just to see, but you can definitely see a difference in my eyelashes and how this eye really stands out as opposed to the other eye. So it did its job. So not complaining. I'm gonna finish this one off camera and I'll be back. I'm such a nerd. Alright, so there's both eyes with the mascara. I'm digging it. And I'm going to, I forgot to do this, I'm gonna go in with this darker color right here with a Morphe JH39 and just kind of smudge it underneath the bottom lash line just to give us kind of a liner look under there. So last but not least are lips, and I think that I had the hardest time finding a lip product that wasn't going to kill my budget. I got a regular lipstick by Wet n Wild. Here it is, and it was only 78 cents, so under $1. And this is the color 530D in dark pink frost, and it is a frosty look. I'll twirl it up and let you see. It's a frosty. So let's see how this looks on the lips. It's kind of like, okay, it rattles around whenever it's not all the way up. Listen. Yeah. I pick up on little weird things sometimes. Alright, let's go in. So it's definitely going to be a more natural lip color. Don't you love how I talk on applying lipstick? It's fun, huh? It goes on creamy and it glides on smooth. Frosted lip look. Now I will say I probably needed a more peachy lip color with my peach blush, but they didn't have one in the budget, so this is what we got. But I don't think that it looks terribly bad. So this is the finished look. I hope that you guys, I'll lower the light a little bit and I'll pop it up. There we go. Well, all the way up's not gonna work. Overall, I'm impressed with the look. I hope that it's reading well on camera. I'm really liking the foundation. I think that it gives you a pretty almost airbrush finish, and I don't feel like it settles into your pores or anything like that. It was definitely a challenge, but I think that we made it work, definitely, for sure. And I'm happy with the end result. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.